This video was intended to inform and educate the public.
When Gabriela Olds Googled her name, she expected to see her LinkedIn profile and maybe other social media pages.
Someone said, oh, you should Google yourself just to see what they see. So I decided to Google myself and I saw my name pop up.
Oh, her name popped up all right, along with her driver's license photo from 10 years ago, right next to Adams County District Attorney Brian Mason. He was announcing the indictment of a Mexican drug cartel ring in Adams County in 2023. There was Gabriela Olds, named as a criminal defendant, indicted by a Colorado grand jury for dealing massive quantities of fentanyl. What you gonna do when they come
for you? Wrongly accused and forced to pay thousands of dollars in legal fees to protect her name. Texas mother indicted in Colorado drug trafficking case due to mistaken identity leads to her paying out thousands of dollars to prove her innocence. Welcome to the Junkyard News. And in this video news story, we have a harrowing case of mistaken identity as a Texas mother of 4 with no criminal history found herself indicted in a Colorado drug trafficking case, facing a prospect of 35 years in prison for crimes she couldn't have possibly committed. Let me ask you this. Have you ever Googled your name and information just to see what pops up? Well, that is a conversation Gabriela Olds found herself in a conversation with one of her closest friends. And being an inquisitive type of person, one day she decided to do just that. She Googled herself and her information and was shocked at what she saw. See, Gabriela had once lived in Colorado. Years prior, had moved to Texas with her family. And what popped up on Google in her search was a news article and press release from law enforcement with her photo of her old driver's license included with other suspects in a Colorado drug trafficking ring investigation. She was shocked. She couldn't believe what her friends back in Colorado were seeing. Her name and her photo and her family was being defamed. Now, once again, she discovered this and her indictment after a routine internet search of her name and information. To her shock, she was listed as a participant in a drug trafficking ring operating in Colorado, and the indictment against her was based on information linked to an old phone number.
What I would call an alleged big fish. So somebody who works directly for this cartel out of Mexico.
When I saw my picture from my old driver's license with the district attorney when he was giving his press conference, it was a completely out-of-body experience. I thought I was hallucinating. And I was scared to drive because they said if I get pulled over, I could get arrested. And the bail was set at $50,000 cash.
How does this happen? Her attorney found one of the drug cartel suspects was using Gabriela's old Colorado phone number
that had been in Colorado, a number she had changed years prior when she moved. But using that phone number, investigators mistakenly associated her with the criminal activities of others. Gabriela was quoted as saying that it was a completely out-of-body experience. She couldn't believe that she was being accused of something so serious when she had no involvement whatsoever and actually had moved to Texas before all this occurred. Now, of course, after her and her family had to hire a Colorado attorney to submit evidence of her innocence, the charges and the indictment against her were dismissed. But it took time, it took money, and it took many restless nights. She was afraid to even drive a car in Texas because she knew if she got pulled over and law enforcement ran her name and driver's license information, the warrant would pop up and most likely she would have been arrested on the spot, extradited to Colorado, and jailed until they can extort around $50,000 cash to get her out. Now, this case has sparked some public outcry and raised concerns about the reliability of the identification process in criminal investigations. Civil rights organizations are calling for reforms, of course, to prevent innocent individuals from facing unwarranted legal action such as this. And in her case, investigators did a very sloppy job. Legal experts suggest that this incident could lead to changes in how identifications are verified during investigations. Meanwhile, this family is out thousands of dollars in legal fees in a case of sloppy police work. Now, according to Olds' attorney, investigators with the North Metro Task Force failed to look at the proper phone records that would have shown that Olds gave up ownership of that phone number 10 years before she was indicted. They're supposed to be thorough. They're supposed to be accurate. And we, as the public, are supposed to be able to rely on them and trust their investigations and trust the system. Yeah, right. And in this case, of course, that didn't happen. Now, Olds' attorney also stated that investigators did conduct surveillance on a woman who was using the actual cell phone number and relied on nighttime images, blurry, grainy images of the suspect, and just concluded that, oh, it must be her. There is a vague resemblance. Eventually, after the attorney sent prosecutors bank statements and debit card transactions showing Olds was living in Texas during this investigation, the Adams County District Attorney's Office did dismiss the case against her. But they didn't retract what they said in the press release. They didn't make that public. Now, when questioned about this case and how it went FUBAR, the statement that was issued by the Adams County District Attorney's Office was pretty boilerplate. And they stated that back in November 2023, the District Attorney's Office issued a public statement concerning a grand jury indictment. The indictment named multiple defendants who were charged at the time of the release. As of today, several of these cases remain pending in Adams County District Court, and arrest warrants are still active for certain individuals. Any public comment on the investigation beyond the genuine factual information previously disclosed could jeopardize the integrity of the ongoing legal proceedings and may violate court orders protecting the secrecy of grand jury materials. So with respect to any inquiry regarding Gabriela Olds, under Colorado law, the District Attorney's Office is required to respond that no public criminal court records now exist. And beyond that, we have no comment. This could be you. This could be anybody. This could be your mom, your dad, your grandfather, your grandpa, your uncle, your sister, your cousin. You never know when something like this is going to happen to you due to sloppy law enforcement investigations. Are they just lazy? Are they incompetent? You tell me. Comment what you think below. Thank you again for watching this video by The Junkyard News. Be careful, people. Maybe you should Google yourself and see what pops up. Be safe out there, or else you may find yourself the star in our next video here on The Junkyard News. Stay safe, people.